What's going on, Nosies? All right, y'all. We up in the NFL business today, y'all. Y'all know it's a lot of quarterback, wide receiver combos in the NFL, y'all. Recently, Jahan the Washington Commanders, I believe, just traded him for a third-round pick from the Philadelphia Eagles, y'all. Now, y'all know they already have a good wide receiver core, the Philadelphia Eagles, that is. They gave out a third-round pick to somebody in that division, which, you don't really, you don't see, trades going on within the division a lot. But, a third-round pick, they feel like, that's not going to be, a crucial sacrifice in the upcoming years. Supposed to the Washington Wizards feeling like, that draft pick could possibly be, a diamond in the rough. Jahan, though, is a pretty good, slot receiver. He's different from, the other receivers they have over there in Philadelphia, up there in Philadelphia. But with them having such a heavy offensive package, defensively, they've lost a step defensively, but they're clearly making a statement by saying, we are loading up offensively. The question, is still at hand is, can they get it done? Everybody's asking who's going to stop the Philadelphia offense. And my answer to that question is Jalen Hurts. When you look at the quarterback play from, a Jalen Hurts, to, let's say, a Deshaun Watson, who hasn't been Deshaun Watson, in a few seasons, pretty much ever since he left Cleveland. Even when you go from a Deshaun Watson to, I would say a Patrick Mahomes, we're talking about something that's totally visible. When you look at Jalen Hurts and you go to the regular season, you say, man, phenomenal, MVP type quarterback. When you went to Deshaun Watson when he was in Cleveland, you say, man, phenomenal, MVP type quarterback. When you go to Patrick Mahomes, you see the MVPs. You see the championships. You see the results. So when you look at the Eagles giving away a third-round pick for Jahan, you're saying to yourself, what's going on? What's next? And then when you take in that to the fact of Lamar Jackson being a two-time MVP and still not sniffing a Super Bowl, let alone even being, in a championship, it's kind of crazy to fathom. Lamar Jackson made some comments not too long ago about, he came off injury, he's playing in a new system, and he still made it to the conference championship. Like that was an accomplishment. And that's not nothing to really, too much brag about, to say, hey, I'm in a new system, I'm coming off injury and I still made it. That's really not something to brag about. But at the same time, when you got two MVPs and you're playing with the team that you just had, the best defense, that you guys probably didn't even believe you would have had beginning of the season, really showed up and showed out, and y'all still couldn't get it done. It speaks volumes, supposed to, when you're playing against somebody like Patrick Mahomes, whose team wasn't even considered a Super Bowl winning team, mid-season. So, going from that to seeing the Eagles fail in the playoffs time to time again, and, not to take nothing away from Jalen Hurts, he was injured, most part of that season, last season, and he was going through, a lot of different, turbulence, as far as the team chemistry, the offensive coordinators, things of that nature, with some talks of them not, getting along and things like that. But when you look at the play on the field, everybody from, Lamar Jackson, I would say Deshaun Watson, and of course Jalen Hurts haven't been as great as they were seen in the regular season. So when you add someone like Jahan, to the list, you would think like this core is ready to go to the next step. But where does that leave Lamar Jackson? Where does that leave, guys like the Bengals quarterback? Burrow has made it to a Super Bowl. We don't talk about Burrow as much as we talk about, hell, I don't even feel like we talk about Burrow as much as we talk about Watson. And as far as him being, with with Cleveland, it's like you haven't even done nothing with Cleveland yet, despite, the rumors, despite your injuries and your setbacks. When you were in Houston, we looked at you like you was neck and neck with, with the best of them. We compared this guy to Aaron Rodgers and things of that nature. So when you look at somebody, like a Joe Burrow, you say to yourself, could this be his year? He doesn't have the best team. He doesn't have the best offensive line, the best defense. We saw him get to a Super Bowl. He doesn't have the MVPs like a Lamar. He doesn't have the MVP votes like you would give to a Jalen Hurts because of their spectacular play during the regular season. But in the playoffs, somebody like Joe Burrow really steps up. And, when you look at the statistics, Dak Prescott has a better playoff record than Lamar Jackson. And Lamar Jackson's a 2-time MVP. That says a lot. So, even though Jalen has been to a Super Bowl, Jalen has a good, season record. The playoffs are a total different aspect. The playoffs is a season in its own. So the way we show up and show out in the playoffs is totally different than the regular season. The regular season gets us to the playoffs. The playoffs gets us to the championship. So just seeing this offensive package develop before our eyes, y'all, I don't know what you all think of it, but me personally, I just think it's Jalen Hurts' responsibility to get them over the top. It's Jalen Hurts' responsibility to actually throw the ball more and depict these offenses. Supposed to, when they're in the playoffs, they're sticking to the running game or trying to compete with a passing game that they know they're not on that level yet. That's what we saw with Lamar Jackson, him having that tremendous run game. Then they, get to the playoffs going up against a worthy opponent, like they did with KC, and now they're trying to throw the ball like they're Patrick Mahomes, or they have a Patrick Mahomes. And, these things tend to come back and kick you in the butt later on, as you can see, So, I think if Philly stays healthy, they have a high ceiling. But because we never saw them win, it's hard to say what they will do. As opposed to us saying, well, Kansas City or a Cincinnati, we have more faith in them getting it done because we actually seen them go to those places. And even though we saw Cincinnati lose and we saw Philly lose, we still put Cincinnati in a space where we believe in them more, because of the quarterback play. Because we know Joe Burrow can get sacked 10 times and still be a threat on the field. As opposed to, do we really believe we're going to win with, the ball in Jalen's hands? So, that's a lot to think about. I think Philly has a good team. They're not as strong defensively as they was last year. Neither will be, the Baltimore Ravens as far as defensively. They all lost some good pieces, So just moving forward, we're seeing them stack up on offense. Can Jaden take that next step and be, a ball dominant offensive player? Not the running back, but the quarterback. Can he have 40 touchdown passes in a season? Will this be his season? Seeing the wide receiver package that he has. He has slots. What I'm saying? He has deep threats. So. And they have a running back. So, it's going to be interesting on where they land in the totem pole as far as record at the end of the season and the season. But it's also going to speak volumes as far as the regular season of what we see coming from them. And let's not forget, Jaden has been to a Super Bowl. Just because you go to a Super Bowl doesn't necessarily give you an accolade. That's not something we're going to talk about 10 years from now, like you actually won a Super Bowl. Okay, you got there, but that has and will be forgotten in years to come. People, analysts still talk about it like it's a major accomplishment or something, but if you don't win, it's nothing really to talk about, and we all know records are meant to be broken. So, your play, offensively and defensively means a lot, but more than anything, winning a championship or winning your team to a championship, especially when you have those weapons around you, says a lot. It really does say a lot. So, we'll see where they you know, where they land when this is all said and done. And, you know, hopefully they have a successful season, you know, injury-free season. But we all know this is, you know, the NFL. So, you know, anything can happen. But you all let me know what you all think about this video. Subscribe, share, you know, and like the video. Please.